There is a way that you can speed up the assessment writing process. Now, this advice is only for people that want to spend less time on their assessments while still getting great grades. Because let's face it, the assessment workload in university is huge. We need to be efficient. To speed up writing my assessments, I started with writing one bullet point down for each paragraph for the entire assessment. And that bullet point really held the main idea of what I was trying to put down in each paragraph. Once I'd finished that, I would then come back through and add between 3 and 5 bullet points for each paragraph. I wasn't caring about how I was writing it, the words I was using, none of that mattered. I was just getting my ideas and my thoughts down into those bullet points. Now, if you aren't able to do that, you're actually struggling to come up with what you need to write, then I would suggest always stopping writing completely and going and doing some analysis or research, because trying to push through and write will almost never work if what you actually need is more information to help you, or motivation, or inspiration. This works once you already have an idea in your mind of what you want to write about. So now you've got that bullet point skeleton down of your assessment. You have one main bullet point for your paragraph, and then you've added between 3 and 5 bullet points for each paragraph. Then what I would do is I would come back through and I would turn each of those bullet points into a complete sentence that anyone could understand. Again, I didn't care about the words I was using or how I was saying it. I was just making sure that each bullet point was a comprehensible sentence. That's it. I did that for the entire assessment piece. Then I came back through, and for each group of bullet points for a paragraph, I would then reorder them so that the flow within the paragraph worked, so that it made sense when you read it, and I bunched up those sentences together so they were no longer separate lines of bullets. I then moved on to the next paragraph, made sure each sentence made sense in order, or I changed the order around until it did. I did that for my entire assessment piece, which meant my assessment was written. That was it, it was done. No, it wasn't necessarily good, but that wasn't the point. The point was simply to write it, to get it down and get it done. Because now I could come back through and I had the time to edit it and make it good. So I'd come back through and I'd make sure I was happy with the word choice, that the sentence was how I want it to be. I could spend the time on it because I'd already finished my assessment. I hadn't wasted time trying to just get one single sentence out how I wanted to write it. I focused on what I was writing and not how. There is one exception to this, and this was whenever I was writing a literature review or a scientific report where I had an image component. If I had graphs, then I always made those images first before I even started thinking about writing. And that's because usually the writing component is where we explain those images. So for example, in a scientific report where you have graphs for your results section, you don't want to start writing the results before you have that image made. You don't want to be writing about something you can't even see. So I'd always make those images first, then put them in the Word document, and then put my bullet points down for each paragraph, and then turn them into sentences. That's what worked for me, and it sped up my assessment writing process. Now, if you'd also like to learn the study habits that you should avoid that are wasting your time, then watch this video here, where I also explain the study habits that I chose to use to help me graduate my degree in the shortest amount of time possible, while also graduating with the university medal.